What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another one. Today we're going to talk about beginning errors or mistakes that candle makers make. It's three things that I really noticed that I did and that other candle makers might make, and it has to do with testing. We're talking about supply, we're talking about fragrance load. We're getting into all that right now today. So without further ado, let's do it. This is As I Am Candle Co. I'm CEO, founder, all of that. I've been making candles now about 5 years, 6 years. And so I'm just talking from my experience as a candle maker, some things that I've done, mistakes that I've made that might help you as well. So the first one is, it's all about testing. Testing. Any candle maker you talk to, they'll talk about that testing. So I think two things that I've seen, candle makers do that I've done and that other candle makers have probably done, and that's either testing not enough or trying to change too many variables at once. And what do I mean by that? So in order for you to kind of know what works, you have to try different things. And so for me, my way of testing might be different than somebody else's way of testing. They might do a candle at a time. I kind of do it to see which different batches perform well. I know that could be more expensive, but I do it based on like customer feedback. So customer feedback, they'll tell me, hey, this does well, this doesn't do well, this performs well, this doesn't perform well. And then that way I do that because that way if I sell it to them and they don't like it, I can give them their money back. But if they do like it and they're okay with it, then, I just know what things I can kind of improve on for the next round. One thing that I would do when testing is try not to change too many things at once. So before I even ever sold a candle, I did test like different waxes, did that first. Then I test different scents, did that second. Then I test different wicks, did that third. So I recommend it kind of in that order because you don't want to, you don't want to try to change all three at once and then it just could be a mess because it's hard for you to really understand what's working and what's not working, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, fragrance load. This is a big mistake that I made. Thinking more scent equals a better scent throw. That's not true. It really depends on what kind of wax you have and how that wax performs. So the average is 8 to 12%. Just because you do 12% fragrance load does not mean your candle is going to be better. It might even make your candle perform worse. And the reason why is because it might make the flame too high. You might burn out a lot of scent. Sometimes from what I've seen, it could cause more soot, different things like that. So when you're testing fragrance load, you kind of want to start light and build your way up. For me, in my wax, 8-9% is probably too low. 9% is going to be light. 10, 11, 11 is probably the max. 12 is going to be too much for my fragrance load because I'll probably just burn the scent out. Or it could just be could be an overload of scent, especially if the scent that you have is a strong one. So make sure that you're testing fragrance loads and different things like that. So like I said, wax is one thing, the variants, trying different things is one thing, testing, and fragrance load is another thing that's also part of testing. The third thing is supplies. So one thing that I did, even when I was the candle makers, I didn't order too many things at once. I kind of wait until I need certain things to get them. And the reason why is because you buy stuff that you don't need. And I'm thinking about making a video about the things that I regretted buying as a candle maker. If that's something you want to see, drop a comment below and let me know. But it's certain things that I bought that is like, that was a waste. I don't really need that. It was another things that is like, okay, I'm glad that I waited to do this, because you could buy certain vessels, you could buy certain wax, and you stock up on that stuff, and that's not the stuff that you need. Now you have too much of these things, So you never want to over order anything, especially when you're talking about business, because then you'll have a lot of leftover supplies. Another thing is scent. So I know I've done different scents before. There's like, okay, I think this will perform well. And with scents, it's kind of hard because you either buy a small bottle or you buy a big bottle. And I think I bought like a medium size, like maybe like 16 ounces or something like that. And for me at the time, that was a lot. And so I had candles sitting. So they sat through that season and then I had to like sell them the next season. But I kind of had to like do them for cheap because people didn't really want those scents. So just be careful of that, over ordering supplies. Order what you need. Sometimes, I'm not going to say ordering less is more, but I'd rather do like a smaller batch and people ask for more than me doing a large batch and then it's kind of sitting here. And that could also be a trick. That's a bonus too, man. That could also be a trick when you're selling things, is if you sell a smaller, like if I put online like, okay, I only got 6 of each size and it's sold out online, people are like, oh my gosh, that scent sold out. When are you ordering more? And then they can pre-order and different things like that. So that's a tip. So these are 3 things that I've noticed as a candle maker, mistakes that I've made, and mistakes that you might make as a beginner as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're testing, test. Watch your fragrance load, and don't order too many supplies. Don't order more than you need. Start with the bare minimum and work from there. Till next time, peace.